Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. Okay, we got a couple case knives here to check out. Both of them are in the same handle material. But before I get to the knives, I also have two new stickers here. Both are from the same channel, the Singing Toad. I got his Toad Tribe sticker. This is his latest sticker. And then one of his other round stickers, the Singing Toad. Wonderful channel up in Canada. That's the great thing about YouTube. You can meet people from all around the world, and it's just really cool when you start sharing stickers and stuff like that. And if you have not checked out the Singing Toad's channel, you really need to. It's a great channel and worth your time, let me put it that way. Has interesting perspective on a wide variety of knives also. So if you haven't checked him out, check out the Singing Toad, a great channel. Also, if you're out there and you got a channel and you want to swap stickers, I'm always up for a sticker swap. Now, on to the knives. Two knives by W.R. Case & Son. They are different patterns, but they are patterns you have seen on the channel before. And matter of fact, one of them is going to be a sod buster. Let's see which one's the sod buster. That's not the sod buster. Here is the sod buster. Now, both of these knives are in the same handle material. Got here. And what this is known as is the rough black. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's get the other one out. Guess what the other one's going to be. Just go ahead. I dare you. Guess. Yeah, you know, it's a toothpick. A medium toothpick by W.R. Case & Son. Black box, so we can also guess that both of these knives are in stainless steel. The again, black synthetic rough jig Sodbuster Jr. and black synthetic rough jig medium Texas toothpick. The toothpick is from February 7th, 2025. And this one is from December 9th, 2024. So these are new releases from W.R. Case & Son. The black synthetic rough jig. They typically just call it rough black, I think is what they tend to call it. But it's just a really interesting pattern to me. And what the material is it's a synthetic material. Not Delrin. They don't say it's Delrin. They just say it's synthetic, black synthetic material. I do not know if this is the original black synthetic material that they first used in the rough black series of knives. I suspect it is not. I think it's a better quality material than what first came out in the rough black. And I also noticed that nowadays they have a rough white, a rough red, and a rough blue, I believe. So they've gone beyond just rough black. That's the only color when this first came out. And this material was first offered during World War II, actually. And it was basically an alternative handle material that Case developed. The story goes is the better quality handle materials had to be used for the knives under contract for the military, and Case was scrambling for another kind of handle material that they could use for the civilian market. I'm not sure if that is 100% factually right. I believe, just like every other knife company, Case was trying to develop some kind of synthetic handle material that could be used for their knives just to meet the demands for all the military contracts, as well as the knives that they were making for the civilian market. And their chemists basically developed this kind of synthetic, gooey, hard rubber stuff that proved to be durable, heat resistant, cold resistant, so on and so forth. And this was it. It was just this kind of hard rubber material. It was kind of black in color, and it held up pretty well. The problem was not easy to work with. It was kind of messy and nasty and everything else. And while the official name for it was a rough black or something like that, the name they're giving it now is black synthetic rough jig. I believe it was referred to as rough cut back then. And what they did was they took this rubbery material, this hard handle material, and then they jigged it to look like stag, which is seeing here on the sodbuster here. And was it popular? I don't know if it was popular or not, but it was what you got. And we see it here on the Toothpick. And it just it got this nickname in the factory because of how difficult it was to work with and how nasty it was. They ended up calling it Gum Fuddy. Gumfuddy. And Fuddy was basically a word for something kind of old-fashioned, or, you know, you've heard the phrase fuddy-duddy probably, and you've heard of Elmer Fudd and all that other stuff. And gum because it was basically a hard rubber. But it was just like old-fashioned hard rubber and nasty stuff to work with. And eventually that nickname made it out into the public, and these were known as Gum Fuddy knives. Why Case is referring to it now as black synthetic rough jig is beyond me. I think Gum Fuddy would be a much better name for them, and I actually like the way the stuff looks. But if you can tell here just looking at these two knives that one of them is much more defined in the engraving here. And you can kind of tell that actually kind of looks like stag. This one on the Toothpick, it is not as well defined, and I'm not sure if that is the case, if it's because of the way it is pressed or whatever. I like both of them, but they're both different, and I'm actually looking at probably getting a couple more of these knives, so we'll see how that plays out, if this is somewhat consistent, that this is very clear on the Sodbuster Junior, and if it's always going to be kind of blurry or less defined on the Toothpick. But let's look at the two knives a little bit individually real quick too, because I've talked a lot about Toothpick, so I'm not going to do an individual video on this one, but we're just talking about the handle material here mostly, but we do need to talk about the build of the knives. This one, that's pretty clean, I think. Blade alignment is almost right down the middle. Take a look there. Might be favoring the shield side a little bit, but I think that's pretty clean. It is definitely not hitting. The pull is right there in the middle, which is typical of the Sodbusters. So if you have another Sodbuster Junior, the pull on this one is going to be about the same as any other Case Sodbuster Junior. I put it at right there at a 5 or so. I don't know, but it works for me. And well pinned. These pins are nicely recessed into there. They're all brass pins. Same here. Oh yeah, this one is a little higher, but it is right there where the groove is halfway into there. This one is set into the groove. Yeah, the pins are pretty well done. The middle one here is a little bit proud on the front. The back side, because it, yeah, a little bit, but not too proud. All in all, the shield is well seated. All in all, nicely built. It looks good. Let's hold it up to the light here. You can see a little bit of a glint of light, but I think that actually what I'm seeing is reflection off of the brass there. So this is nice and tight. The Sodbuster Junior is really well made. The Toothpick, we already talked about the blurriness of the gum Fuddy, or the whatever they call it, the jig synthetic. Looks the black is not as black. I'm going to say that right now. It does not look as black, but it is well pinned. The shield is well seated. Might have a bit of a gap right there. Yeah, there's a little gap right there on the back of the Toothpick. Blade alignment is pretty close to center. I mean, it is definitely favoring the backside a little bit. Nicely pinned though, and the handle is, yeah, there's no real gaps. Good transition there. A blade pull, this is like in the around the 4 or maybe even a 3. It's very typical of the case toothpick. So if you've got a case toothpick, you know what the blade pull is like. It's a lighter pull than what you have on that knife. If you're looking for a knife with a nice light pull, the Toothpick is it. Yeah, you got a little bit of a bump there. There we go. If you're worrying about it closing up on you, choke up on the blade. You got enough room there to choke up. Yeah. All in all, I'm pretty impressed with it. A little disappointed maybe in how defined this is. I got this knife first, so I was expecting this one to be just as well defined as this. I don't know if this one, if it's going to vary from pattern to pattern on how clean the definition is in there. I do see the lines in there, but they're just not as clear as I see on this. But all in all, I'm still pretty impressed with it. I'm happy I bought it. Can I see light? Yeah, for those who it's a big deal, yeah, I can definitely see light where that gap is. You can even see it right there. See, boom, right there. There is definitely some gap there. Not a big deal to me. I'm sure it's a big deal to a lot of other people. Yeah, see, nothing there. So if you're into single-bladed knives and you're worried about the gap and everything else, I definitely say the Sodbuster is your better option. And a lot of people prefer the Sodbuster over a medium toothpick anyway. So, but I like them both, and I'm pretty happy with both as well. So there we have it. There's my introduction to black synthetic rough jig handle material by WR Son. They should have just called it gum Fuddy. That is so much easier to remember. So let me know what you think. Do you like the gum Fuddy? Do you not like the gum Fuddy? Is this handle material you're interested in? I'm seriously thinking of picking up also the Seahorse Whittler and the Rustlock in this material. Don't know if I grab the entire series, but there are a couple other knives, and I do kind of like the material. It's just kind of cool, especially considering the history of it. I just wish Case would just call it gum Fuddy instead. It would be so much easier to remember. In any case, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and stick around. I'm going to show you some slides. Talk to you again soon. let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Pious. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.